Thank you for joining us here at the Nikki Clarke Show. The show is about conversations that matter. And I'm very excited to have a powerful woman on the show. She is the founder of Mindful Evolution, and we'll talk about what that is. Please welcome Dimple Arora to the show. Welcome, Dimple.
Thank you for having me.
You look beautiful.
Thank you, as you do.
Oh, thank you. I try.
Well,
I'm very grateful you're here, and I know that you have a wonderful company that supports parents. But I'd like to hear your story. How did it get there from your beginning?
Well, my story started in childhood, like most stories do. And I was the child with the common childhood ailments, the eczema, the allergies, bronchitis, asthma, frequent ear infections. Wow. And so growing up, I had a lot of physical challenges because of not feeling well. But I also grew up in a very stressful environment. So I had a lot of physical and emotional challenges.
Right.
And it sounds a little bizarre, but for the first 10 years of my life, every meal that I took in, I just expelled. So doctors couldn't figure out as to why this was happening. Right. So as I went into my teenage years, the vomiting stopped. I became, I seemed healthy, but I wasn't. And by the time I got into my 20s, I was plagued with various infections. Digestive issues, sinus infections, urinary tract infections. But I was living my life not knowing that there was any other way. I would visit a doctor, get a pill, get an antibiotic, and just move on.
Just became routine.
Just became a routine, right? And I grew up in a day and age where antibiotics were prescribed for the common cold, right? So it's just the way that I was living and not even aware that I wasn't well. So I graduated from university. I then worked in consulting, IT consulting, and I lost my job there. Then I went into teaching. So I taught for about 5 years. And on my last day of teaching, I collapsed in the staff room.
Oh my gosh.
So at that time, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And after I left teaching, I spent then years learning how to heal myself. So then I was determined to figure out what was going on, why my body was so broken. And then I went to study nutrition and life coaching and different various energy modalities. And I did heal. Good. I healed. Good. And I felt better than I had ever felt. And my motivation for healing was to become a mother. So once I healed, I became so passionate about this work. And that's why I do what I do now.
Oh, that is an amazing journey. What was the part of, you speak of being broken, what was the catalyst of all these ailments? Was it emotional? So
I think I didn't start off with a good childhood. So most of our programming, our subconscious programming, is done in the first early years of life. Yeah. So the first 6 years of a child's life. Absolutely. And so I, first of all, didn't start off with good gut health. So I was born as a cesarean baby. I was constantly vomiting, diarrhea, antibiotics, which, takes a toll on the gut. Sure. And the digestive system, and which is your foundation for good health. Sure. And then growing up in a stressful environment, it takes a toll on the nervous system. So living your life kind of in a fight or flight mode, then when I became an adult and I realized that it really stems back to childhood, healing the nervous system, healing the digestive system, healing emotions that we know not to release until we're aware of them and we're given an outlet to release them. Absolutely.
Well, it's a funny thing that you say that because, working with children myself and also thinking back in my younger years, whenever there was a situation that made me anxious, I'd have a stomach ache. And I hear now when I speak to kids when they're nervous about tests, it's their stomach that hurts. So that's kind of the mind body
yes,
connection.
Yeah. We do think and feel with every cell in our body.
Absolutely.
And really, quantum health involves, healing at the cellular level.
Okay.
And that's exactly what I did.
Okay. Excellent.
Yes.
And now you have propelled this amazing company, Mindful Evolution, into being. And how long has it been operating now?
For 8 years.
8 years.
Yes.
Okay. And tell us the premise of the company.
So I coach women from all walks of life, but primarily at this point, it's mothers and children, tween and teen girls.
Okay.
And I help my clients to feel less stressed, calmer, healthier, and more in control of their emotions. And I do this by using empowerment coaching, nutrition and lifestyle, and various mindfulness and energy psychology modalities.
Okay.
Yes.
When you talk about the tweens and the
Yes.
teens, I find that age group, I think they're more stressed out than ever.
Yeah.
I remember being, that age, and I don't remember being so anxious about the way I looked so much, or the pressure to date and all that. Maybe I think I'm an alien that way. So I just think differently. But there's so much pressure.
There is.
And causing so many problems stemming from that. Can you speak to that? Have you been noticing that as well?
I do run a program called GLOW. It stands for Girls Lighting Our World.
Good.
And it is for girls from 9 to 13 years old. And the common issues that they're faced with, it's social media, pressure from social media bullying,
Yes,
or
a lot of cyberbullying.
a lot of cyberbullying, as well as a lot of body image issues. So that is also very prominent, and a lot of pressure to excel. So to be, not only doing well in school, but to excel outside of the classroom, extracurricular activities.
Yes.
They're very overscheduled, and they're very anxious and very tired.
That's an excellent point. So the overscheduling, that's
Yes.
a really good point. So walk me through some of the steps then for someone who is feeling anxious in that age group. What would you do with them?
So for a child who's feeling anxious in that age group, I first teach the girl some mindfulness techniques. So how to really calm the body, balance the body, just using breath, and really optimizing the flow of energy throughout the body. So I teach a variety of exercises to do that. I teach this to adults, I teach it to children. And so once their nervous systems are calm, they are less anxious. I also really address the nutrition. So the water intake, sleep, nutrients, relaxation and rest, as well as joy and movement.
Yes.
And detoxing areas of their life that are not working for them. And also that's why I work with the moms a lot, because working with the daughters is not enough. And then, sometimes the daughters go home to an environment that is not conducive to being empowering for them.
Yes.
So that's why I work with both the mom and the daughter.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, very important, because you don't want to set up a plan that's going to be unglued by the time you're out of the vicinity, right?
Parents need to be on board.
They need to have that partnership with you.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So can you tell us about a winning moment, a client of yours that has come to you for help, and then you see this incredible transformation?
Yes. I have a client who her parents went through a divorce. And, she was not doing as well in school. She was a little bit stressed out. But then she came into my GLOW program, and she was very shy, and she couldn't find her voice. And she became so empowered and confident. She started the mindfulness program at her school.
Wow.
And I'm actually nominating her for an Empower Girl Award that's going to be given at the National Mom-Daughter Conference in May.
That is excellent.
Yes.
Wow. You're doing so much to make these young women be bold, and just to go for it. It's an incredible thing
Thank you.
to do that. So thank you for what you do. So how has your life been changed through this passion work?
For me, I feel like I have now the tools and the mindset and the strategies to manage my day-to-day life. So to manage my own stress, my own anger, I can relax when I need to. Yeah. And so for me, it helps me to show up as a better parent, as a better partner, and to show up better for others in the community, and especially for my clients. I really feel like I'm living my life purpose, what God has put me on this earth to do. Yes. Yes. And I feel like it's a privilege to teach and share this work and to be a catalyst to facilitate healing in others. Yes. So I feel really blessed that I have found my life purpose.
Very rewarding.
It is.
Awesome. It is. And you have a 6-year-old girl?
I do.
So what do you do as a mom to empower her?
We do a variety of things, a variety of things. I started when she was very young with speaking to her in affirmations, which are positive statements. So empowering her by really programming her mind to feel that she is confident, she is smart, she is beautiful, she is healthy, right? That was a big one for me. She is healthy. And so speaking to her affirmatively, doing a lot of exercises with her throughout her day. So when she wakes up in the morning, if she's tired, I show her, an exercise to do to help with tiredness. When she gets home from school, I try to rebalance her system. We spend some time alone. We call it mindful me time. We do some journaling, we do some meditating. I have a routine before she goes to bed. So I do a bunch of energy exercises with her. We do some EFT, which is a tapping technique to calm the nervous system. It's used to release fears, negative emotions, negative thinking. And so we do a lot of that. We do a sleep routine. Okay. And I also implement a gratitude practice with her.
Very nice, yeah.
And daily, because they say people who practice gratitude are happier. So we do a variety of things.
Oh, it sounds like it's a very joyful connection every day. In the ECE world, we would call it floor time.
Yes.
Where you let the child interact and and ask open-ended questions and empower and
a lot of play too. A lot of play, a lot of rest, a lot of relaxation, and allowing her that space to have her own alone time and creativity as well.
Beautiful. Dimple, thank you so much for sharing all the wonderful things you're doing. And how can people connect with you on social media?
On social media, you can reach me on Facebook or Instagram at Dimple Mindful Evolution. And my website is mindfulevolution.ca.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having
appreciate
me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thanks again. And please reach out to Dimple on social media and let her empower you. We'll be back.
The Nikki Clarke Show, transforming lives one story at a time. If you would like to be a guest or become a part of our live studio audience or even to become a sponsor, just go to www.NikkiClarkeNetwork.com.